What's up, YouTube? So today we're just going to go over upgrading the tightest deck for Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. Don't look at my ring. I'm practicing sizing my Aura ring. But anyway, yeah, so this is the precon for the tightest deck. It's the Blitz counter deck. Of course, I'm using what was almost my favorite deck box. I 3D printed this. Check out my video where I review this, but pretty much was almost perfect. It's not amazing, but I'm still gonna use it for my deck because it's a freaking Blitzball. So we'll put this to the side. Then let's go over the changes to the deck. So from what I can tell, most people really like playing like tier 3 or bracket 3 out of 5 using the new Wizards rules. So either it's gonna be, you could either use any deck at bracket 3, or if they just go ham, events are just going full bracket 5. So either bracket 3 or bracket 5. And bracket 3 is like no infinite combos until like turn 10, and then you can only have 3 game changer cards. So I have, for me personally, I have one CEDH deck, and then everything else I just changed it to a bracket 3, which kind of helps out because you kind of save money and you only like can put pretty much 3 really, really expensive cards. But you're gonna kind of laugh because I still have expensive cards in this deck. But anyway, I tried to keep the deck as close to the original precon as possible, but I still changed some stuff out that I thought were redundant or were better replacements. So let's go over the land first. So, oop, don't look at that. You're gonna laugh. That card is just one of my favorite cards, so I try to run it as many decks as I can. But anyway, so the land base. First, we have to fix the land base. So we took out, we actually are running 35 land. So we're running 35 land, and then I, of course, replace it with non-land cards, but we'll go over that later. So I took out the plains. I took out an island. I actually hate these lands. These, like, what do they call them? Are they check lands? Or reveal lands. Like, I hate these lands where you have to reveal a land in your hand. Like, you shouldn't, even though it's just a land, you shouldn't be giving your opponent information, but whatever. So I took out Fortified Village. I also hate these lands. I took out Canopy Vista. Pain lands, they're not bad, but I mean, this damage adds up. So I'd rather pay 2 life for a shock land and that's it, instead of paying 1 life every time I want to use the color. So I took out the pain lands. Check land, take that out. These are just weird. I don't know who would run this. Like, I would rather run a filter land over this land, and the filter lands are pretty cheap. Port Town's out, taking out this. I don't even know what you would call this land. I never saw these lands until I opened this precon, by the way. I didn't know these existed, and I wish I still didn't know they existed. Oh, I actually hate these lands. These scry lands, I hate these so bad. Like, they're terrible, just take them out. Another one of those. Taking out, yep, more of that. Path of Ancestry, it's just like, whatever. I mean, we're not running, it's just not good in this deck. It just has to come out. This is kind of useful, but there's just better land, especially in a 3-color land. I want to take out as many non-color lands as I could. I think the only non-colored land I would run would be Ancient Tomb, but Ancient Tomb is a game changer, so you have to decide if that's worth it over other cards. Then Ash Baron, same thing. Evolving Wilds, that's just like a staple for precons, so we took that out. So altogether, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Took out 18 cards, but we're actually going to replace 17 with land, and this land was going to be a non-land replacement. Okay, so now what do we replace it with? I actually like if you're trying to be competitive, you probably don't want these lands that enter tapped, but turn 1, you almost always will have a fetch land turn 1, and you're gonna see I'm gonna run a lot of fetch lands. So turn 1, I usually will grab my tri-land. So you'll just grab this turn 1, and if you draw this later in the game, you could always cycle it and draw a card. So I'm personally a fan of these tri-lands. Then of course we have our fetches, so we're just running the full suite of fetches. We got Flooded Strand, Windswept Heath, Misty Rainforest, Polluted Delta. Oh, by the way, these changes are not looking to be budget. Like, these are just cards you already have, so we're gonna have some expensive cards. But you don't have to run, I mean, I think fetch lands you have to have, especially in a color deck. But dual lands you don't have to have, and I'm actually fine. If I play against someone casually, I don't care if they proxy a dual land. Like, they're just unrealistically expensive for most people. So anyway, yeah. Back to the fetch lands: Wooded Foothills, Arid Mesa, Marsh Flats, and yeah. And don't forget, even though Arid Mesa says red, the rules say there's no actual mana symbol on the card. So because it fetches for white, we could actually use it to fetch for any white land. So you could use Arid Mesa to fetch for the tri-land. So yeah, don't forget you could do that with your fetches. And then we got our dual lands. We got all three: Tropical Island, Savannah, and Tundra. You have to run dual lands. Like, I will never play a commander game unless I have the dual lands for the commander. But like I said, if you can't afford them, then just proxy them. I don't have an issue with that myself. And then our shock lands, we're running Hollowed Fountain, Temple Garden, and I'm actually missing a breeding pool. I literally cannot find it, but if I did have a breeding pool, I would replace one of the basic lands for that. And then we have our, these are just like, even if you're trying to be competitive, I wouldn't run this, because if you draw this when you killed all your opponents except for one, they'd enter tapped. But usually you would have an alive opponent. So we have Rejuvenating Springs, Bountiful Promenade, and then Sea of Clouds. So, yep, those are the land that we replaced. Fetch these back up. And then let's go over what we took out for the non-land cards. So non-land cards, I took out Summoner's Sending. At the beginning of each end step, you may exile target creature from a graveyard. If you do, you create a 1/1 spirit token, put a counter on it if the card exiled was 4 or greater. So I just took this out because it's cool. It generates tokens, but it only generates it if you exile a creature card. So if you do this at the start of the game, it's gonna kind of be slow to get going, because what if there's nothing dead? And actually that's been happening in a lot of my games where nothing's dying in the first 10 turns, like where everyone's kind of scared to do anything in a tier 3 or bracket 3 game. If you're going competitive, then everything's dying. So like, I can see this being good if you play it turn 2, everyone's just playing creatures, nothing's dying, and then turn 4, Wrath of God or Judgment, and you wipe the board, and then you start building. But then you're building on turn 5 plus, and you're just making 1/1s. You might put a counter on it, but it's just not amazing. So I took that out. There's just better stuff we could do. Next, I took out Protection Magic. You could put a shield counter on up to 3 target creatures, but what if you don't have 3 target creatures out yet? Like I wanna play cards that have like an effect the second they're out, or they for sure protect something. Like they're just better cards. So you'll see what we could have played that's better. Promise of Loyalty, I took that out as well. It's just like a pseudo board wipe, so we're just gonna run a real board wipe instead of that. And then I actually don't like these summoning cards. Like, they're cool, but then, they're like, it's like, how do I say this? It's like a saga, but easily removable. So usually, like an enchantment saga, it's kind of hard to remove. Enchantments are kind of hard to remove, because just exile, usually destroy permanents or destroy enchantments. Destroy enchantments or exile permanents are expensive cards, and like they're just hard to get rid of. When you put a saga on a creature, they're just way easier to kill. You can get bored. Like if I had 3 of these saga or 3 of these summon creature or summon cards, which are really just saga creatures, if I have 3 out and I get board wiped, you're just screwed. Like you're not gonna get your effects, and you just got 1 for 3. So I don't like these summon cards. I mean, they're cool casually, but if you're just trying to upgrade your card, those are an easy drop. Yeah, so Lord Jiskel Guado, flying 2/1 for 2. At the beginning of each end step, if you put a counter on a creature this turn, investigate. Just kind of slow. I have better cards to run. Yuna's Whistle, same thing, just kind of slow. We have draw cards in the deck, so I'd rather just keep those. Bane of Progress, this is just an expensive card. It does destroy all artifacts, but the key word is all artifacts and enchantments. You could wipe your own. It gets counters still for it, so you still get some value, but it's a 2/2 for 6, so you're still not gonna get the full value. Tireless Tracker is still slow, so I don't wanna run that either. Rampant Rejuvenator, just this creature enters with 2 1/1 counters on it. When it dies, search your library for 2 X basic lands equal to the power. So it's just like whatever. It's a 4 cost for that. It's just whatever. Like 4 cost mana ramp. If it dies, it's just kind of slow, in my opinion. Generous Patron, when it enters, support 2. When you put 1 or more counters on a creature you don't control, draw a card. I don't know. Maybe leave a comment below. Why would that be good? The only thing I could see this doing is stun counters, and there's not a lot of cards that throw those out, so I would take that out. Another summon card, we already talked about that, why I don't like those. Master Seymour, at the beginning of combat in your turn, so I like that. For 3 mana, on the beginning of combat, so it'll happen every turn, put a number of 1/1 counters equal to his power onto another target creature you control. So we could easily get that to up, and his Monstrosity X. But it's still, like, I think that was just too slow. I had better cards to run, so this one had to go. Riku, this is just kind of slow. Whenever you put 1 or more counters on a creature until end of turn, they can't be blocked. I think I'm running a card that just straight up says my creatures can't get blocked, so that's better. And then Steal, move a counter from target creature and opponent controls onto one I control. Sorcery speed. That's if they have that. So this ability, creatures can't be blocked. It's on a creature, so this is easily removed. And then the ability is just like situational. So that had to go. Altered Ego, it's a creature spell that can't be countered. You can have this enter as a copy, except it comes in with X counters. It's 4 mana cost, so if I play it for 6, it'll come with 2 counters. There's just better cards. Everflowing Chalice, I hate this card, but it's in every precon, so that was an automatic removed. Let me just organize these like that so you can see what came out. Let's see, make sure this is showing up on the screen easy. All right, so let's go over what we are putting in. So we are putting in our game changer cards. Fierce Guardianship, it's a free counter spell. Titus is probably almost always gonna be out, so it's a free counter. If they're trying to board clear or remove him, takes care of that. Teferi's Protection protects you, the player, and your whole board. And there's a pseudo Teferi's Protection that came in the precon, so we kind of get 2. But yeah, so this protects you and all your permanents. So this is a game changer. Your opponent can swing out with everyone to attack you, and you can Teferi's Protection. This has happened a lot. I'll cast Teferi's Protection as they swing out with their whole board to kill me, and then they'll counter it, and then I'll Fierce Guardianship to counter their counter, and then that's usually game right there, because they swung out, they're open for me to swing back and kill them. If they counter your counter, and you don't have the counter for that counter, then they deserve that win. They get that. Flawless Maneuvers, my 3rd game changer. All the creatures get indestructible. Same thing, protects my board. If they swing out and I like block with everyone and I want to keep my stuff, helps me. I'm actually debating on switching this out for a Smothering Tithe, so let me know. Do I already have a lot of protection spells? Like if they try to board clear me, this saves me, but we also have other stuff, which you'll see. Heliod, we're running Heliod. He gives creatures lifelink. Whenever I gain life, I put a 1/1 counter on a creature, and it also combos with a Hangerback Walker, which is in the deck. And there's also a combo in the deck with Hangerback Walker. So now you have 2 outlets for Hangerback Walker to combo. And that's in bracket 3, at least locally in Central California and the Bay Area. All these stores, they put a hard cap of no infinite combos till turn 10. So if the game's going that long and there's just a wall on both sides, you're just hunting for your combo pieces. So this is another outlet for your combo piece. Doubling season doubles your counters. I mean, that's like an auto include. It's not a game changer, so you have to have that card. Bloom Tender, one of my favorite mana ramp cards. I love that in Animar, by the way. It's a 2-cost mana dork, and it'll tap for 3. One for each color on the field. Birds of Paradise is just a no-brainer. It taps for any color. Sylvan Library is just card advantage. You take 4 damage for each card you want to keep. You draw 3, put 2 back. It's pretty much draw 3, scry 2, or draw 3, rearrange the top 2, or I don't know how would I say this. You draw 3, put 2 back on top in any order, or pay 4 life per card of those 2 that you want to keep. Like, that's just a really good effect, I guess, for 2 mana. And then Heroic Intervention, so same thing as Flawless Maneuver, but you're gonna pay 2. My stuff gets hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Innkeeper's Talent puts counters on creatures, gives them ward, and then the final one just doubles it. So it's like another doubling season, but it builds up to doubling season's cost. But the first ability just works right away. Put a 1/1 counter at start of combat. Pretty good. Bristly Bill, whenever a land enters under my control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. Pretty good. Pay 5, double the counters. That's hella good. So that's like a must play right there. And then we have Kodama, modified creatures. Modified is any creature with an enchantment, equipment attached to them, or have a counter on them. Whenever a modified creature deals combat damage, search for a basic land card and put it on the field tapped. And they all have Trample. So Trample gives us that extra reach. Esper Sentinel, this is just like, just protection. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card unless they pay X, where X is Esper Sentinel's power. So we could easily get this to 4 and make that really annoying. If we get Esper Sentinel to 4, so that's 3 counters, that's like a mana leak. Every opponent's turn, that's a mana leak. Mana leak is just like situational, but then when it's every single time, your first spell every turn, it starts to get annoying, and that's at 3. So if you get this bigger, if we double that, or if we proliferate, that's just like a guarantee. Like, no one's gonna be paying a 6 mana cost, or like if they have a gate, like a big 6 cost card, and now they have to pay 6 more or else it gets negated. That's just painful. Ozolith, this is big. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, you put it on this card, and then at the beginning of combat on your turn, if there's counters on this card, you move it onto a target creature. And this is an artifact. 1 cost. Artifact, like situational, people don't usually, they'll have 1 or 2 artifact removal cards in their 100-card deck. So, yeah, very good card. Then we have Vorinclex. It's a haste creature, 6/6 with trample. If you would put 1 or more counters, you would double it. So, yeah, there's just so many good combos. If you double a card and this is out, or if I'm putting 4 counters from Bristly Bill, this will put 8 counters on. Absolutely insane. Carpet of Flowers. During your main phase, you may add X of 1 color to my mana cost, where X is the number of islands target opponent controls. That's hoping, usually blue is just like one of the best colors. So usually there is a blue player. So that's just really good mana ramp for 1. And then of course, Gilded Drake. I just love this card. You don't have to run it or proxy it if you're just printing it out on printer paper. I don't care. But this is one of my favorite. I just love stealing a player's commander. But this could be anything. This could be another board clear or whatever. But yeah, I just love Gilded Drake. It has to be in the deck. But yeah, that is the whole deck. Hopefully this helped you guys decide what to put in. I mean, these are my choices. There's for sure better choices out there, but for me, this is what I chose. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what did you guys put in instead, and what did you take out? Do you hate Everflowing Chalice as much as I do? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.